Good. Okay, let's go ahead and call the common council meeting to order. First will be the pledge, encouraging prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your heads. Yes, Lord, we just come to you today to ask for your guidance and protection and to allow us to do what's best for the city and everyone in it. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay. We don't have anybody here for public comment unless you want to speak.
No.
Okay, we'll go into the minutes of February 10th, 2026. And time to review.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, have a motion. Second. Have a motion, second by Mike, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And we'll go into the claims for February 11th, 2026 through March the 10th of 26. Any comments, corrections?
I didn't do these, by the way.
And make a motion to approve the findings.
Second. Have a motion by Trevor, second by Joe, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, whole business. Trevor, have any old, other than what we're gonna talk about here? Joe, have any? Mike? Stacy? Okay, I'm going to the old business, we'll go into the, adopting of the Unified Development Ordinance 2026-03, UDO. Do you want to speak on that behalf, or do you just?
No, I think we kind of, at least, I know we gave a bigger overview of planning commission, and then, last month, you said you didn't get a formal presentation or anything. I can pull that one out though if anybody does want it, but I think it's making sure we have time to review it since you guys didn't have it a lot and everything else. You know what I mean? Just making sure you didn't have any questions.
One question was on the new processes. Are you going to give those to Tyler and kind of go over them with him?
I can, yeah. So they've got a flow chart. Let me go to that section. The good thing, and I can definitely sit down with Tyler, I know he sat through all of our committee meetings, and sometimes that's also a lot going on. So like, I know,
Yeah, I have.
for instance, like the development interest, you have special exceptions pulled up.
Yeah.
Like, I always think it's good to go ahead and print these off. So you just have them and you can reference easy, and then all the steps outlined underneath that. So, I don't have any issue if he wants to meet and just walking him through it to make sure he like understands what's what.
And
It should
did you-
generally be what you're following today. You know, most of that all pretty much follows state statute. The exception is your, development plans. That's something that's just new, but you should be doing that in a larger idea anyway, just verifying to meet the setbacks before you issue a building permit on like non-residential things. And then your subdivision regs, there's something new, because you didn't do that prior. So I think those are the only two things that are actually, that should be new.
Okay. You guys, for us, didn't redo any applications or anything?
No, that's an option if you wanted to. It was one of those optional tasks, but we
Yeah, I
didn't
couldn't remember.
redo any of those.
Okay.
And I think everything in that is supposed to be, you were gonna work with Jason Applegate from Extar to get that uploaded to the website as well, some stuff off of that, correct?
Yeah, I can give that to Jason.
Okay. Been working with Chris on that, I think, so much.
Yeah. Mhm.
The only thing I'll also kind of mention is, again, I know this started at Plan Commission
Mhm.
very beginning of the year, or maybe even in December. House Bill 1001 just passed as well. And I can send some information out after this. You can basically opt out of most of that stuff. I think you're probably pretty good, because you guys were open to like apartments and
Mhm.
commercial districts, but, we're kind of ciphering through that right now to send out to a bunch of our communities we work with, that it regulates things like, minimum parking, or that you can,
Yeah.
on apartments, and duplexes are permitted in the residential district. You can opt out of some of those things, which again, just went through this. I think you're feeling pretty good about where these landed. So I can send you some information on that you have, I think, through 2026.
Maybe the investigation, yeah, let's see.
Oh, that's right.
That's 1001.
Yeah.
But that just, finalized last week, what do you have to go, so. It went through a number of iterations between the House and Senate.
I did have a couple things
Yeah.
on ordinances, one in particular, we were talking about, I know we discussed this when we were having those meetings about the driveway surface.
Yes, we have lots of discussions on that one.
We had a discussion on that, and, I think we have it, it needs to be a paved surface, is what it reads now.
So I'm gonna go to that. Sorry, I'm scrolling back up there for you. Yeah, because we even debated about that at planning commission.
Yeah,
And, let me see, page driveways, here we are.
if you grab it, can you give me a page number?
Sure thing. We did talk about the minimum width, and that sort of thing for the easements, give me that for you.
Yeah.
Driveway material, 90.
I know it's a sign page.
That's how it gave me.
It had old stuff at the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where we kind of landed on that one, Brandon, is, so allowed materials within ag and residential use. See better. Within platted subdivisions that are recorded after this UDO is in effect, it needs to be paved, right? So like that'd be your subdivisions like you would normally think. Driveways outside of platted subdivisions or subdivisions that were prior to this ordinance, just have to pave back 30 feet from the right of way. So they just need to do the 30 feet from keeping that gravel kicking on the public roads. And then it can be gravel past that. If it's other uses like commercial, industrial, then it does need to be paved.
I like the part of the subdivision, I don't see a problem with that. As far as the ones that are not in subdivision, I'd be okay without having a paved surface at all there, because I know we debated that, I don't know how we landed.
The committee definitely debated it, the planning commission debated
I
that
know
again.
feels about that.
I agree with you too. I think, it's good in commercial business, R1 like existing. Does not need to be solid surface.
The debate kind of, we had discussions on minimum square footages, and I, like that one, kind of a one out, if that's a, okay, term, and then this one remained the same, based on like the back and forth, so.
Yeah,
I think you were there, Brandon, right?
yeah, I would be.
Yeah, there, like, so,
I know we discussed that quite a bit, and we had to move on because we were getting behind on everything else at the time, so. I didn't-
yeah, so that, it stated that it's 30 feet back from the right of way.
So if that's the length of most of these driveways, is your house.
That's the whole setback on a lot of new homes.
I was gonna ask too, for that one specifically, is it, for improvements as well? Or is that for,
New
new?
bids.
It would just be new stuff, so I mean, if you have a gravel drive and you're not doing anything, you're not moving it to the other side of the property, or, putting a house up,
Culvert or anything?
then you're good.
Say if you had like a double lot or something, or just a wider lot, and you built a detached garage next to you, you would have to do
So, yeah,
solid
our
surface for the
threshold.
new, and your actual home could still be gravel.
On page 88, like each one of these site sceners, we say, when do you have to comply, just to make it clear. So if any of the following, all your driveways have to comply. If you do a new primary structure, so like it had no house and you put a new house on it, all your driveways then have to comply. Or if you establish a new land use on a vacant parcel, so that's intended for commercial uses maybe that don't always have buildings, you know what I mean? And then if there's an existing legally established driveway and it's altered, moved, then it has to comply. As long as it stays where it was, it's fine. Or if it's a new driveway. So if you have an existing gravel and you are putting up a garage, you're not messing with, moving the existing driveway, it can stay gravel. It would just be new driveways, a new house, or, like, moving the driveway somewhere, altering it.
My issue with that was, this is where I was going with that. You don't have to do that in the city of Scottsburg. We're already competing with the city of Scottsburg. The appraisals are automatically higher in the city of Scottsburg when you build a house in Scottsburg. So if we have to spend another $10,000 of surface of driveway in Austin, you're already getting less for a house than you are in Scottsburg. It's gonna appraise that they don't have to pave the driveway in Scottsburg. You gotta come here and spend 10 more thousand to get 15,000 less on a $200,000 house.
Yeah, that's what,
So you're
Can't
backing up,
remember, did we?
you're backing the investor at $25,000 right out of the gate. So it's gonna be hard to get, it's gonna make it more difficult to get some, make it more appealing to build here.
Did we look that one?
That's
I
my-
don't remember, I
that's
can't
what I
remember where Scottsburg landed, I just had to turn my hotspot
So
on
I'm
so I
saying,
could
Yeah.
get internet.
Because we don't have a whole lot.
if you're building a subdivision, I think all needs to be uniform and nice, and I don't see a problem at all with that, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and I think you said in the planning meetings too, like, you'll have one new house go up on a whole street, and the whole rest of the street will be gravel because they're existing, and you're in the middle, and yours has to be paved,
Right,
which is,
yeah.
I'm pulling up Scottsburg, I just don't remember where they landed, if we looked that one up.
That's just my opinion, I mean, that's,
That's a good point.
that's my opinion, that's where I want to be right now.
So in Scottsburg, unless they're located in the ag district, all driveways have to be graded and serviced with an all-weather paving, such as asphalt, concrete, or other material. Unless located in the A1. So Scottsburg, A1 has to pave 30 feet back from the right of way.
So,
So they're requiring it in their UDO. That's right.
in the entire city.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Unless it's in ag, zoned ag has to pave 30 feet back from that right of way line. Which I know we even debated on that distance, you know what I mean, and I feel like that's where we were.
There was a debate on the width of those driveways as well, because they was too narrow on some of them.
we changed that, minimum width, whether we make 8 or 10.
Has to be 10.
Either way, we
It was
set
increased.
a maximum width on it too. It was like a set number, I think it'd be better as a percentage.
I don't know if we've done a maximum.
I think we made a maximum width 20 feet.
I know we've done a minimum width of 10, I think, because people were stepping out of cars into the mud on some of those driveways.
Yeah, I get that, I'm saying on the maximum, I think
I'm looking at that.
one of the alterations planning made was to make it 20 feet maximum.
Minimum, that's minimum distance between, sorry. Yeah, I remember, I just need to find that now. Minimum width of 10 feet, that's the width at the right of way. I mean, it can widen as it goes to your property, and a maximum width at the right of way of 20 feet.
20 feet.
10 to 20 feet for single
Double
family
park,
and
for
two
double
family.
parking.
We're not talking about other things,
So
just.
you're talking about 20 for double parking, is what you're talking?
Yeah, that's the maximum, or like
That's the
two,
maximum.
I would prefer it be a percentage of maximum lot frontage, because if you think about it, if you have a two-car garage, and they're the separate, like, 9-foot doors, you'd have to be wider than 20 to make it line up. So if you have like a bigger house on a bigger lot, 20
Nice.
feet might not be enough.
Most communities for residential, it's 18 to 20, they'll put a max on there, on the width, usually.
Yeah.
That's where that goes. And it can, it's at the right of way, and then it can widen as much as you want, going back.
Is there significance on whether it's being mentioned?
So no, all these things was debated in the planning commission, as you well know, you was in there.
Yeah, and the committee for sure too.
Pardon?
And the committee meetings,
Committee, and
we
then
definitely
the
debated
plan.
on there too. So,
Plan commission presented to us with the changes they made, which was that.
Yep.
And that's how they passed it to present to us, so, what do you guys wanna do? I know what you have, I mean, I know the concern, but I do know that all those that are paid now are selling, there's nothing said without selling. So,
Probably just the easiest way to do it would be one little item at a time, like comments have been made. You just make one change at a time, or let it die at one at a time. The last one I was talking about was the maximum width. Does anybody have a problem with raising that maximum width of the driveway?
I can see how that would be annoying if it's not watering, like if you got the 2-car garage situation going on, like that would be annoying because it's annoying to me that mine is the size that it is.
Well, like she said,
because it's too narrow, too
It's
wide.
too narrow.
once you go up in your driveway, you can widen.
I like the 20 feet of the road because if you have a really large lot, you don't have a 50-foot driveway in the road.
yeah, that's the
Like
purpose
it
of
still,
like,
it still keeps you
you don't
right
pay the
away
whole thing.
at 20 feet.
You can be 20
I mean,
feet.
'cause-
lower.
Wider.
I guess the only negative about a percentage is like, you don't know that to be a really, really large lot.
Yeah.
And then you're allowing a parking lot at the road.
What if you just made it a little bit bigger than 20, so that you can,
Like 24.
like 24, that way you can fit on a 2 separate garage,
Yeah.
1 straight entryway. Anybody have a problem with 24 on the maximum width?
So are most garage doors you put them now, are they 9 or 10?
8, 9, 10, it just depends.
10.
It's hard, it's tight on an 8.
I'm
So
okay with 24.
I'll motion, change that to 24 maximum.
I'll second that.
I'm making that new. Okay, so I've got, that is, I'm ready to go. 24 feet maximum.
So you got a motion
And
to
that
change
was-
that,
Yeah, motion and second.
and a second to change it to 24 width. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
And just for, these for minutes and how that goes, it's on page 90. That's where we're changing
Page
that,
9.
from 20 to 24. Okay.
And then you wanna go to Brandon's point next about the servicing.
I'm hoping, I mean, that was my suggestion. I mean,
Yeah.
I was-
I agree with you, just in like R1 and leaving subdivisions paid.
Yeah, the subdivisions, I agree, all these are uniform subdivisions, I definitely, that could be out of control.
Yeah, right
So-
now that bullet is driveways outside of platted subdivisions or subdivisions recorded prior or before the initial adoption of this UDO. So those are
Yeah.
the category.
I
And
mean, what's everybody else's opinion on that? I don't know,
I mean, I guess I'm conflicted. If you're talking about a contractor building a spec home on a street, I do sort of feel like it should be paved. If you're building your own home on, say, Rice Street and 0 driveways are paved on Rice Street, I'm not sure why
That's-
you should
that's
have to
wrong.
pave your driveway on Rice Street. So
And
then,
there's a process
it's-
for variances too. Not
and
saying
if
like you
that's
wanna
the
use
same
those all the time.
for me
I'm not-
building my house on Rice Street, then why should it be different for?
I'm not saying it'd be a common problem, but that will at one point, I will guarantee be a deal breaker whether somebody builds a house or they don't. If they have to service that driveway, the bank is not gonna cough up that much money, not gonna cough up 10 more grand for you to do that. So if they're on the borderline of being able to build that house and that driveway is a deal breaker, I mean, I don't know why we.
So how many times has that came
Build a
up?
house.
How many times has that came up, or it's been
I
denied?
mean, I would say it'd be more common like Joe said, when somebody's building their own home. You know, if you're buying from a contractor, I don't think that'd be an issue. But like, if you're building your own home, that's gonna be an issue.
Would all banks even
Yeah.
provide the funding for
'Cause I don't, I mean, I've seen.
So I guess my question is, if we allow contractors not to pave the driveways or concrete or whatever, are they gonna pass that on to consumer, or are we gonna lower the price of those houses?
I think it'd be opposite if you make it to where they have to, then the increase would be passed on.
That's what you're doing now, right? On new
If
builds
you
now?
have to pay it, that's a cost, that's what I'm saying. But if you make every house that way, every house would have to be passed on.
Are there, also, like,
Yeah.
my perspective of, are there houses right now that are being built with gravel driveways? Like, how many, I don't know, you know what I mean, out of the last 3-4 years, if you think about houses that have been built, have there been any gravel ones versus, like, I know you said your subdivision ones, Trevor, you're putting concrete on.
Yeah, all the concrete.
So,
I guess
It
it's-
doesn't
that's
matter to
your
me, but
point,
it-
is
I really
subdivision.
see a house, a new home built with a gravel driveway that no house built at all. That's-
Yeah, so just, that maybe just, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Not that it, so
Can't tell you.
it kind of sounds like it may not even be an issue, most people are.
Most
just saying-
contractors are putting concrete driveways on them anyway.
Yeah,
It's just giving.
I'm just saying, if somebody's building a home, you don't want to be the deal breaker that they don't build a.
The only problem I got with that, Brandon, I think if we do allow that, then none of them's gonna concrete it. It's all gonna be gravel.
that's not true,
That's
because
what
you
we're
don't have to
doing.
right
You don't
now.
have to right now, the majority of them do. I know the last ones that we did, I know the ones that Bud did, he did.
Leaving it alone doesn't change.
I mean, I know Budden's been concreting them all, I know that.
Yeah.
And it's not killed the deal, has it, on selling?
Raises. It rains, I mean, any cost passed on.
That's what I'm going, I don't think it's a burden to the contractors, it's a burden to our normal citizens that's gonna try to build a home on a budget.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, though, but I don't see that happening because we haven't any set up, they're all set, that's where I'm, they're all set.
Mhm.
Or do you have a lot of folks coming in that are kind of trying to build their own home independent of a contractor? I mean, obviously they're hiring them.
Yeah.
So have you had any ask you not to concrete them or?
We have,
It corrects me if I'm wrong, but what it sounds like is it's more so of giving the option to the homeowner who is going to be building on their own, making sure that we're not preventing any new builds from happening from that property owner versus not so much that it's a problem, it's just, and not that we even notice things. However, do we want that to be a preventable action?
Yeah.
For new homeowners?
Right.
man, it really doesn't matter the order they do it in. Either way, it's somebody building the home. It's, do they build the home and sell it to them, or do they get the land and then hire someone to build it for them?
And it's
Like, it's, all that matters is what happens to the end citizen.
Yeah, and it sounds as though most things are going with concrete right now. However, do we want to just put this in writing to where in the future it's going to prevent?
If you're determined to build a house, making you put a concrete driveway in is not gonna stop you from building that house.
They might,
It will to a consumer.
it might affordability wise.
Most of the people can build, like, the biggest, you can see, probably 80% of the approvals that come through Austin, local people here, the process is about $180,000 what they can get approved for. With 2 working families, work, state, and Morgan's, it's around $180,000. That driveway will put you over that budget to where you couldn't build that home, is what I'm going with that.
I do know that,
Sometimes, not every time, but I'm saying it will happen.
You're selling now for about 189, aren't you?
I mean, it depends on the size, on the layout.
And it doesn't affect me, doing whatever, I don't get my driveway's concrete, it's gonna be fine, whatever, but I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it from a citizen standpoint, from somebody that's trying to build a home on a budget. I would not wanna stop someone from building a home on a budget because I want them to pay for driveway. That's,
Well, if that's the case, then do they have to build the concrete driveway as soon as the house is done, or
they would have to, based on that, they would have to.
3 months down the road, but it's gotta be done regardless?
Yeah, like, so your state standards would need to be done, you usually pay it last, so you don't run your equipment over.
Yeah.
But to get like your certificate of occupancy,
Yeah.
that's where you need all your site standards done too, whether it's
Yeah, 30
residential or
days, 60
commercial.
days, or 90 days, it's gonna be done.
No,
Before they
according
get,
to this, before they could move in, they would have to pay the driveway.
Unless you got, again, a variance or
30 feet up.
BCA
The
allowed
road,
delay.
which is basically up to the garage.
The whole,
Basically up to the garage. I kinda like the idea because it's cleaner than track out on the road, but I'm just.
If I'm gonna spend the money to build a house, I'm gonna have enough budget in it to either concrete or asphalt.
Yeah.
That's just me. But 9 times out of 10, the person that's getting that house, they're gonna buy the house that's already built. They wanna move in. The majority. Unless you just own land and say, hey, I want to build.
And that's why the most of them's being built here now anyway, it's contractors build them and then sell them as they build them. It's not people owning property and have a contractor build for
I think that would be the argument, is it necessary to place it if if it's already happening? I guess that would be the rebuttal there.
and like the new major subdivisions, it'll still be paid.
that's the majority of your new homes gonna be built or in these subdivisions.
We don't have
You
much
want
land
to require it
otherwise.
there, yeah, I agree with that.
One thing, I'm just throwing out compromise points
Yeah.
too for you guys, is that you get, it's a local decision, but you could say, like, right now we say 30 feet from the right of way, right? So the road's inside of the right of way. What you could say as an alternate is X feet from the edge of the roadway, like, you know, because the road, edge of the road and the right of way are not the same line, right? You could say the edge of the actual roadway, so many feet back. And right now you've got 30, but that's, again, an option. The idea is trying to keep that gravel and everything from getting kicked onto the road and being a maintenance issue. Again, you can start to talk about compromise point there, maybe, just a thought.
Well, and I see that point too, because the property that I had purchased behind me, it's gravel in the back and it's falling into the ditch line and the culvert is
Getting like,
Yeah, so, yeah, that makes sense too. I think, myself, I think that would probably be a good
And
compromise.
I don't know that anybody want 10 feet of the driveway paved and the rest of it gravel.
Yeah.
I mean, from
I've thought about
you,
doing it to fix that one. I've thought about doing it myself to fix that one.
just to get you past the.
Yeah, cause I know it would be an issue and, further down the road.
you own
Mhm.
it? Well, that's the difference, though. I mean, it's not, you're not living there close to the house. I mean, would you want that in your driveway in your house? That's what I'm saying. If you wanna go up 10 feet driveway, then go 20 in gravel. No, you probably wanna pave all the way to the garage.
Preference, yeah, because now if I didn't have funds, then,
I mean, I just don't think that'd be a good idea, just to do 10 feet of it, a
It
requirement.
would be, it'd still be 30, but maybe it's to the edge of the roadway instead of the right of way, you know what I mean? Because your edge of roadway and right of way are different places, right? Just throwing out thoughts for compromise.
I mean, then the next thing you go is, okay, we'll say we build a 18 by 24 barn. You're gonna put a roadway in it to put store your lawnmower and your golf cart or whatever in. So you're gonna have to spend more on the driveway than you spend on the barn.
Yeah,
See what I'm going?
you got a point there.
yeah.
And so, yeah, that doesn't apply to, oh, it does, the agricultural and residential is what we're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
That would deter me from putting in a garage. If I spent more on the driveway, that would definitely deter me.
I just
As
think
far as
rationally, I think in those situations, like, when you get myself, I'm just thinking out loud, I'm saying, like, to me, it all makes sense. The percentage of driveways paved in Austin, what'd you say,
Yeah,
25% max,
yeah, on existing,
yeah, on existing properties?
Outside of subdivisions, probably lower.
yeah.
What's that?
Outside of subdivisions,
Outside
probably
of
lower.
subdivisions, yeah, 25% on existing homes, yeah. And it's not a problem now, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be different, we're having a problem with rocks in the road or whatever, I don't know what it would be, it would be if it was like we're having some kind of an issue that we were trying to address here. I feel like.
I think it could turn into a problem on something we're not currently having a problem on if we add it. I'm not using
Kind of like too, in terms of like what Brandon had just written with the garage situation. So say we do have somebody who does want to make improvements, but, kind of going back to my thoughts on it, it deterring me from wanting to put in the garage because I'm spending more on the driveway. That then halts any improvement being made on the property itself. We're just kind of considering that too, like,
But most lots are not big enough for your house and an 18 by 20 garage.
we'll say like for my, well, like the property that's behind me that I purchased, had it not had a driveway, but it was just an open lot, I would then have to put that on and it would be big enough for a garage. Kind of just, I think there's a lot of one-off scenarios that are involved in that, but it's what risk outweighs future development.
Unless anybody else has any questions, I say just bring it to vote all motion to, not require paving in R1 and leave everything else the same.
I'll specify if that's what you're making,
Specify.
that bullet on page, sorry, I zoomed in now. On page 90, that'd be the second bullet under agricultural and residential use for allowed materials would read, driveways outside of platted subdivisions or subdivisions required before the initial adoption date of the UDO are not required to be paved. So there's 5 or 6 lines in the middle there that would get deleted if that's based on what you're saying, Trevor. Just so you have the wording.
No, I'll motion
As
that
well.
to bring it to vote.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? You vote for Joe?
I did, yes.
And then opposed,
Yeah.
okay.
Cool.
On, that you have, where did we end up after area planning on R2 living area?
Let me see that there. Sorry. Okay, R2 you said?
Yeah.
Okay. R2, so we're looking at page 34. We had 600 square feet for one bedroom, 750 for two bedroom, and 950 for 3+ bedroom. Is where we landed on that. R1 was only still stated 1,100 across the board. And then, R3 goes down to 600, so that's the apartments and the tiny, allows for tiny, smaller house.
600.
So this is that R2.
Are we ready for a motion to pass UDO with the amendments?
I was still gonna go back to the minimum living area on R1. Cause right now we have it as 1,100, I think it should be 950 to match what the rest of the county does. And like Brandon brought up earlier, that's just one, if you make it 1,100, they're not gonna stop building 950 homes. They're just gonna build them other places and not live here.
So my issue is, first, I reached out to somebody at Scottsburg and they have not issued a building permit for anything under 1,100 square feet in 5 years. Current leadership is considering changing their ordinance to a minimum of 1,100. And previous council changed it to 1,100, planning commission agreed with 1,100, the majority of the committee agreed with 1,100. I just don't see making it smaller, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I was on the UDO for City of Scottsburg that just reinstated that it's 950 and went through the whole process with them and nobody brought up changing it from 950 and it got approved by council 950. And I can think of probably 2 houses that got pulled on permits less than 1,100 in the last 3 years.
Their building inspector disagrees.
But he doesn't handle permitting though. So that would have been APC head.
So let me ask you, what's the main purpose of going back? We've been through this before, so what's the main purpose from 111 to 950? Why is the main purpose when we're selling everything we're building? Why is the main purpose of that? Makes no sense to me.
It's just about more stability. If someone's looking for a home that's
That's
smaller than
why,
that, they'll.
and that's why we established R3, so we could do tiny homes for those people. So I disagree with you, Trevor, I always have, and you know how I feel about that. So if we're gonna get into that discussion, you guys can vote how you want. I'll be the first one I veto.
What's the
I'm
county?
not in favor.
The county's 950.
What do we have as R3?
600.
And where are those zoned? What areas?
That was, well, we have established as R3.
Right, it's a new one.
Yeah.
Okay. Up to how many square feet in R3?
There's no
There's
maximum.
no maximum.
Yeah, they're doing anything, they can build as big as they want per unit.
600 minimum.
Yeah, we just talked about minimums.
Okay.
My thing is that 1,100 for a 3-bedroom is a good size, but if you did like a 2-bedroom, 950 would be a good size. We did something similar on the R2 where we broke it down by bedroom count. Would it be in consideration if we did 2 bedrooms, 950 minimum, 3 bedrooms, 1,100 minimum.
I think a 3-bedroom definitely probably. needs
Yeah,
to be
like- Yeah, that's been my thing the whole time is, not every house is a 3-bedroom. But if you did 2
Well,
bedroom.
even 1,100 square feet, the third bedroom and that is pretty tiny. Pretty small. Even 1,100, the third bedroom is really small.
Who wants to buy a 2-bedroom?
Would be like downsizers or new to market,
Probably
first
senior
bucks.
citizens more than anything.
But the thing is, if
You
you,
got 2 or 3 kids, 2 bedrooms ain't gonna cut it. And most people got 2 or 3 kids.
if you have 0 or you're an empty nester,
Have you had requests for 2 bedrooms?
yeah,
So why don't you build 2 bedroom and 1,100, make a decent sized bedroom?
why don't we
I mean, what's the
build them
difference?
4,000 square feet? and
What's
do
the
1
difference
bedroom?
though? I don't see it going backwards.
It's not going backwards.
Yeah, you are.
It'd be just as nice of a home.
You've been arguing this ever since we started, so if that's what you want to do, you make the motion. If they want to go for it, we will.
The thing I wrote up is 950 for 2 bedrooms. And 3 bedrooms, you still have to be exactly like it is now. And you still have
I would
your,
issue that, if some older couple wants to build a 950 square foot home, it'll be trouble. I don't see a contractor building a 950 square foot house because they don't want to build a 2-bedroom, because it's not on price for anything, why not build another 150 feet for the 3rd bedroom and price for another $25,000?
yeah.
Say you're gonna build, say you're an older couple and you wanna build your home, you don't care what the price is for, you just want a small home.
I don't see the advantage going to 950 though, Brandon, because there's not, everything that we are building is selling. I don't see that. I don't see the need to go back to a 950.
If they want a smaller home or they want a 2-bedroom, they go with the R3.
That's a
There's
rezone process, anytime you wanna do it. The staging it, like I said, is kinda like, it rezones itself if you're doing a 2-bedroom. And you'd still have your same frontage minimums, so it'd look the same from the road.
But you're sleeping on the outside, you're on the inside, where you live.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
It's like, it's crowded. It's crowded. I've lived in a 2-bedroom.
But it depends on how many people are living there.
yeah, it depends on how many people.
I mean, you can make I'm indifferent on this, but you can make the argument that there has been a decrease in, marriages, and there's also been a decrease in, childbearing, so
Yeah.
again, I'm indifferent on this, but the trends are declining with.
And a lot of the, like, intrigue homes are brand new home buyers, this is their first home, or downsizers. And on both of those situations, it's usually just 1 or 2 people buying a home.
The only thing I can say is I do not see it, benefiting the community. It benefits the contractor to go back to 950. That's the statement I'm
But
gonna make.
if it's a 3-bedroom, it'd still have to be 1,100, and like Brandon said,
That would
there's
be
nobody-
a contractor if you made it 950 for a 2-bedroom, because the appraisal's gonna be so much less, it wouldn't benefit you to build a 2-bedroom home financially. It would benefit you, as in the home would be cheaper, but you're gonna get less money out of the home if you build a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. So financially, it's not gonna, for an investor, it's not gonna make sense. If someone's gonna live there, it'll be all right. I mean, I'm open either way, it doesn't matter to me.
I don't really see the need.
but that's giving like 150 square feet to 1 bedroom, that's a decent sized bedroom. If you got
10 by
2 or
15.
3. Yeah, 10 by 15, that's a decent sized bedroom. It's really just, it's preventing you have to do a variance over 1 bedroom.
I think you could do 2-bedroom and 1,100 and make pretty decent rooms. And those rooms are tiny in 3 bedrooms, 1,100. Because I went in 3 or 4 of them, even some that you built. Tiny, very tiny. A couple of them are about like a 9 by 10. And several of them are 9 by 10 on the 3rd bedroom.
I don't think they're bigger than that.
Again, my issue is planning commission, council, it's been 1,100 for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've built more houses in the last 5 years than we've built probably the 15 before that, and they're all sold. I mean, They're not sitting vacant, with the exception of one that I can think of. I don't think they're sitting vacant hardly till they get done.
And I think, inventory just hit like a 6-year high. So stuff's not really moving like you alluded to, but, and I have 3 brand new ones listed in city limits that have just sat for months.
Yeah, everything was, broke from me.
Yeah, those took forever. That one's been done for 6 months and hasn't sold.
Yeah. So they're not selling as quick as it seems. And I think that's just something that's gonna start happening more often with the economy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the case no matter what you do.
Right, but that,
It's
yeah,
gonna slow down, everything that's going on right now, everything's gonna slow down.
I think splitting it up in a tiered manner, like I said, is fair and it keeps the same scale of the house that we have now. It's just if you don't need the 3rd bedroom, you wouldn't have to build it. And like Brandon said, anybody who's just building one just to try to sell would do 3 bedrooms still anyways. It would just keep from burdening someone who's specifically wanting and needing a 2-bedroom home from getting it.
Then I propose you try to turn to, an R3,
But what would the difference be if you're
because you
okay
can go
with?
in as size as you want there, 600 up.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what would the difference be
So why do
if
we
you're
have to do
okay
it all
with
at once?
doing that? The house would be there either way, it's just a bigger process.
I just try to put myself in other people's shoes in the situation. If any of us sitting here build a house, we're gonna build a house a lot bigger than 950 square, bigger than 1,100 square feet. But I'm talking about elderly couple that wants to downsize and build a small house.
I would be the one to build a small house because,
Right, well,
I don't have
yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
to
yeah,
go.
you're saying, yeah, you do that,
Mhm.
yeah. I would say that, But I'm just saying, like, I just try to look in their situation more, like, it's not gonna affect me zero, it affects me zero. Not any way, shape, or form it affects me. I agree for the fact that when you say that with an older couple or a newlywed wanted to build a 2-bedroom house, I wouldn't see a problem with that. But, I mean, there's pros and cons both ways. I mean, no, you don't want to see every street in Austin with a 2-bedroom house on it, but are you gonna see that? No, I don't see that being an issue. I mean, I've done a lot of homes and I've never considered doing a 2-bedroom. Actually, I took the 3 bedrooms and turned them into 4 bedrooms because their rates are. So.
It would just be there for people who actually need it, and I don't think it'd be used a ton, but it would, I don't think you should burden somebody that would need it. And it keeps the same scale of the current housing we have.
I make a motion to pass the UDO as presented with only the 2 amendments that we've agreed on tonight.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
I'm.
Opposed?
All right.
Passed as presented.
Well, not as presented, there were 2 changes.
With the 2
With the
amendments.
The
changes.
2 changes, yeah.
Okay, so I've got both of those amendments. I'll incorporate it into the final draft, or final, version. You guys will get the PDF for your, you're gonna coordinate, how you're gonna get that online. You'll get the actual Word document too, because things happen every year in the state that impact your ordinances, so you can make amendments as needed. And then can reach out to coordinate on the
So we'll
process
state
too.
that stuff in there.
And then, however many
I'm
files.
assuming
You
they
guys
got it.
will get all that to you guys in the next couple of weeks.
Maybe we should ask Josh.
So Josh may have to redo this.
I think so. So that's kind of null and void.
Cool.
Okay. That's another one. Any new business? New business, Joe?
Did you check out the foundation work on there?
Yeah, it's just bricks and I had Shane go over and look at it, so I was remodeling that home. Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you.
We're talking about one of those
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, guys.
We were talking about whether to remodel that home, that stack bricks.
Will you be
We
getting,
went and looked at it.
updated draft of
Well,
that?
since there's just, I'll do the final, PDF and the Word document, so you can get that, so you can make amendments as state statute changes are needed. And then you get the hard copies and then I'll get all that to you.
Go over and look at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Any new business, Stacy?
I can't think of anything at the moment.
Any new? Okay, the only thing I can tell you is Duncan's underway. And then, they're supposed to be pouring some foot. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Dowling.
Mhm.
As you're pulling out on Dowling, I know, I had this happen to me recently, the turning lanes, there's no arrows on the roadway. And for that to be one of the, businesses that are proper, or used often by people who aren't in the area. So I was parked beside, or in lane, in the turning lane. There was a person beside me that was in the right lane and they actually cut me off because they didn't know how to get out. So I think that we really need to put some arrows on that.
I meant to ask Jeremy today, Roger, do you remember, like, I think that was bid with painted lines? And for some reason, they couldn't.
I don't
I
know,
don't
if they,
remember.
have they just not gotten to it yet?
I don't know if it was the weather,
No,
but
yeah.
I think they ended up taking that off the bid and
Took
we
it
didn't
off the
have to
bid
pay
because
for
we
it.
didn't think it was practical to stripe it down the middle, but not about the turning arrows. I think we can probably put turning arrows out there.
Yeah, it is.
But we don't need to stripe the road because it's not,
Right, it's probably really just the turn
That's why they did it.
lanes, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's, because there's really like,
Cause there's two.
I mean, I
lanes.
guess in our minds, there's a left turn lane
Yeah.
to go toward the interstate and then a straight or right to go.
It's such a wide.
So I don't know.
It needs
yeah,
some-
even when trucks are coming in, I don't really want to sit in the middle lane because they're going to
Right.
hit you coming in, trying to
Yeah,
get
as
out.
long as they don't
Yeah, I think
hit
it's
you
the
like it
stop
is
sign area is the big
Mm,
issue.
Honestly, a roundabout would be a great thing there, but
What'd you say?
I'm a fan of a roundabout.
Uh,
It does decrease time.
A roundabout ain't no good for nothing.
I love
But
roundabouts.
accidents,
Accidents.
It needs stripes somehow.
Mhm.
those people don't know how to.
I'll talk to Jeremy and see what we
They
can do
don't
about
know, that's the-
putting turning arrows.
At least the left lane turning arrow, I think would be nice. I think just having something, one there, will be a helpful indicator because, you know, like I said,
Yeah.
you could tell they didn't really know what they were
It
doing.
is kind of a free for all.
It's a free for all, yeah. You're playing Frogger at that point.
Okay, I'll have Jeremy check into that, see what we can do about putting some turning lanes, turning arrows in there. We don't have to have lanes, we just need some arrows.
Yeah.
Something simple, just
And then what I was saying, on Meadowbrook, they're gonna do 2 foundations over there, it's 2 new homes. They're going, they're asked for inspections this Thursday, they're gonna do photos this Thursday on 2 new homes. So it's now underway, they got 11 permits to build over there. And, we're still in the works on ready too, so we got some more coming in, we had submitted by the 1st of March, and we got submitted for that, so. We'll see how that goes. We should get some money here. It has to be distributed by June, so, for York Woods crossing, so we should be in good shape there. That's all I got to add at this time.
motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Um,